Right then, if you're a repeat visitor, welcome to the show. This is design phase. So, phase two of the project. I've done my 31 characters. Now I'm going to do design process for all of them so that I can weed out the weaker characters from the stronger characters, so we can choose 12 for a calendar. But that's also a maybe. I might just do all of them because they are worthy of drawing. But as you can see, I'm doing a symmetry illustration of a particularly muscular and well endowed feminine character. Uh, yeah, gigantic muscle mommy. Absolutely. Well, the character is supposed to be kind of a barbarian slash berserker from the reference material that I picked up. And I think giving the design a second pass is always quite refreshing because a lot of things pop into your head as you are going over a design that you've already done and thinking about things that you might want to take away or add just so that you can, end up with a final product that you're happy with. Like, I'm doing this project for nobody. It's mine. They're all mine, all my characters. Unless you want to adopt one, somebody send me a message, let me know. But, yeah, the other part of this specific situation is my drive to improve my skill. Like, I am already relatively skilled at illustration, but I need to get better, I need to get faster, and I need to be able to. I need to improve my colors. That's something that's definitely a big deal for me. So we're going to see how that pans out, which is going to be like the fourth phase of the project, third phase of the project. Yeah, third phase. No, this is second phase. Third phase would be the action pose. So that would be planning the shot and actually doing it. So this is quite an extensive process and project. But let's see how it goes. If I could do one of these every day, maybe two, that'd be good. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with it, but hopefully I'll be able to organize a Kickstarter or something of the sort. All right. At this particular stage, I have shaded out the female berserker's physique, because that's all you can call it. Good grief, she's massive. And now I'm going to do the back of her, like the back view. I did the back view. I thought I was going to do a reverse version. I'd actually need to, but I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it later on today. I've got a plan for changing my live stream strategy as it's no longer paying off with followers, unfortunately. Let's think about how that goes. Anyway, so once again, off screen, I am sitting with a Pinterest reference because, geez, man, there's no excuse for you not to be able to draw perfectly. You've got Pinterest. You just talk in, say what you want, and then it comes out. Right? So you can pretty much have any reference of anything that you want, and you could draw it in almost any style if you have figured out how to copy things. But that's what it is about. Anyway, what are those called? Deltoids. And the shoulder muscles and the back muscles. So now, once again, you don't have to study anatomy in terms of knowing all the names of the muscles like a medical student. No, you just got to know the shapes. You've got to understand shape A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It doesn't matter what you call them, as long as you know where what goes and how you can distort it, like how you can add volume, make it bigger, make it look, make the character look more muscular, make the character look taller, more heroic. I mean, one thing you'll notice eventually, once I've finished shading this creature's butt, um, you'll notice that her head is small. And I did that deliberately because I want to give it a heroic aspect. I want her to look as if she's probably like 6.5 feet tall and particularly physically powerful. And that's when you just make the head like tiny little bit bigger, I mean smaller than normal, and then you get a big looking character. I must say, the back looks kind of nice. It worked out quite well. And this is surprisingly effective too. I didn't expect the reverse on the hands to work so nicely. But practice makes improvement. Never perfect. Don't expect perfect, just be successful. Body back. All right, so I will now proceed to flipping it around a couple of times. Oh, draw the toes. Definitely going to see those toes, buddy. I think I'm obsessed with doing details, and I think I waste a massive amount of time just working on detail stuff when I could actually be telling more of a story, but details are fun. I enjoy it. I like doing details. It's just a real pleasure. So, we've got our particularly impressive elvish humanoid, and we're now going to give her the glory gear treatment. So I'm going to attempt to redraw and just add a little bit of, I don't know what, to the design and style of the character, and I think it works out nicely. I like this color. This blue's nice. It's a lovely working color for me. I don't know why. I'm always just nice and cool. So what we will do now is, this is pass one. In the first pass, what you want to do is you want to have a bigger brush, say, I don't know, at about 25%. So you're throwing down a lot of chunky lines, just working on it. Okay, and I know this was silly, but yeah, the fact that she's wearing, I don't know, like a bra, a battle bra, that's pushing her cleavage together. So you're going to move those, and they won't be sitting where they would naturally be sitting if they were unleashed. Sweater puppies. Okay. I think this is kind of cool how her clothing kind of zips open where she's like super bulked out. Maybe that could be like a design feature as she gets all pumped up in the fight. Her muscles start swelling and the zippers open up to let her cool off. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. So once again, big chunky lines, trying to just get the details of what I want to happen. I'm also referencing the character quite a lot as well. It's not like I'm operating strictly from memory here, because I want to stay true to the design. I think the fact is, it was a very cool experiment that I thoroughly enjoyed. I really enjoyed just sitting down, drawing a character every single day. And I think this same process of sitting down, doing a symmetry of every single character every single day is going to be fantastic, because it's going to get a workflow going. Well, the workflow is already going. It's just going to hone it and get it even sharper. It's my inking skills. It's the hardline art skills that I'm trying to develop so that it's much faster to create the characters. And I think it really is working, because a lot of them are coming out a lot faster. I don't know why I turned those down. They looked cooler up, but I was also trying to be practical and not stupid. Because if you had pauldrons with horns that pointed up, you'd stab your own face, which is dumb. Ooh, a swoopy tail. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to this later. Yeah, I'm coming back to it later. All right. So gauntlets, shoulder pads. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Just putting a bit of white where the equipment is obscuring her silhouette. So I'm just killing all the lines where we're not going to see her actual physical outline. And I do that with white. I don't know why. I just like preserving the layers a little bit. I'm probably going to smash them down anyway. So here we go with a smaller brush, a higher pressure, and once again, you just feel where the lines take you with regards to the way I draw. That's what I'm doing. Like, put down the chunky lines, the basic shapes, and in that sense, I can now just freestyle detail, no detail, to get some real interesting. It's really, they come out quite interesting. The whole biomech designs that I do like this, because it's almost like a scribble technique, except there's a pictographic purpose behind it. And yeah, use the tools. You saw me using the thingamajigger. I mean, the liquefy tool. Use it. It's got it. You got it here. Use it. Just use it. You know. Use the straight tool. Use the curve tool. You'd be able to use things like that in real life. The liquefy, not so much. But you know, don't limit yourself by not using the full functionality of the app. And I do myself as well. I'm preaching to the choir here. I need to develop those skills too. But I think the tutorial hours that we'll be doing very soon are going to absolutely help me and help you. So I'll do some tutorials and then I'll cut some tutorial videos out of those, and we'll make some progress, help people grow and develop a bit, maybe. Perhaps that's what's missing. I'm selfishly thinking that people are just going to like my pictures because they're cool. Well, I think they're cool. Most people probably think they're dumb, but who cares? Oh, and believe me, the rabbit is quite cantankerous. You should certainly subscribe and turn on those notifications. Wow, I've been talking for a full 13 minutes without any script, just sort of riffing it. Well, so the zippers, I like the idea of the zippers. I think the zipper across the knee is stupidly impractical, but visually it's kind of intense. And I haven't got into such major detail with the legs on this character as what I have on some of the characters to come. You'll see, it gets crazy. There's some loony bin stuff going here. But the principle of it is feet under feet. So there would be a normal type shoe balance and then a mecha organic like sole that has its own toes and structures that allows for these toes to be functional and useful, for example. Okay, so because I'm focusing and making sure that I'm on the references, I'm putting the webbing in. Yeah, I think we've certainly done a good job here. Well, I don't know. Am I praising myself? Whatever. So I think I've stuck to the reference, picked out quite a good selection of details and added them into the image. I do believe that it's going to be quite a successful character. Like, could you imagine her, say for example, like in a monk's pose, like doing some kung fu, and that crazy tail, which is to come. Like you're gonna see it. It's loony. That absolutely ridiculous cyber tail, working some magic behind her, or throwing her forward, or like a flying punch kick through the air. You'll see. Oh, so what you want to do is you want to use your liquefy tool. You want to get bits that are round to be. You want to be round to be the round that you want them to be. And then, what am I doing? Oh, I'm smudging first. They say you shouldn't use the smudge tool too much. Am I using the smudge tool too much? I don't know. Like, it's kind of fun to just quickly bish bash bosh, and now it looks kind of like a 3D picture. And ta-da! It's not that much effort, and you're probably going to be able to go over it with a bit of white later on. So yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, that's a detail I forgot. That character had hoops in her outfit, and we're putting the little loops in the chains. It's different from hers, but it's still very similar. But I think it looks kind of sweet. I don't know. It's got to serve a purpose somehow. We've got to think about it in a backstory. Now, the next question is, what is this character's backstory? Like an elvish berserker, dragon tail thing. Maybe she's still like a monk or something. But like a fighter type character. Like hand to hand to tail. Okay, so I did these circles and I thought I was being clever, but I wasn't really being clever. I shouldn't have done the circles first. I should have just copied the line and shifted it like I did here. Because you can get the XY axis of your tail. It's so easy. Now you kind of understand how wide the thing's got to be. And from that width, you can understand how deep the tail's going to be. And that's sort of how I work out the dimensions of long tubular objects. It's useful. Okay. So I'm just going to make every single video like this from now on. Because, hey, if I engage people by actually having a conversation about the artwork properly, perhaps they'll listen and they'll stick around for the video. Hold on, I just need to take a sip of water. Lemony water. Wow. Right, so I'm now sitting with a rough kind of look of what I want my tail to look like. I tried this technique, and I thought it would never work. Not in a million years, right? Of doing because you can do foreshortening with the spiral technique, but could you do like good foreshortening with a spiral technique on a tail? And now that I've discovered this, there's trouble, boys and girls. There's so much trouble. Look what's going on here. Oh, dear. Check it. So, I was just changing tapes there. Now I've got the outline, and I don't kind of know what the detail's going to be. So what I do, knock it down, put a thing up, and then, am I really doing that again? I'm trying to draw the sides of the tail, the edges. It's not bad. Okay, that's all right. That works for the structure. I think that's kind of smart. Yeah, sure. But then it's so interesting how this works. So I literally make a spiral, go all the way around, and kind of just follow the curves. And it worked. Like, I was so shocked. You gotta follow the curves at the right angle for the right direction, so you can get the way the tail is pointing, and if it's coming towards you in the screen or going away from you, or turning up or down. but it absolutely worked. Like, I can't remember where I've got it. It was probably one of those Instagram tutorials. And yeah, draw a spiral. You want to foreshorten something easily and quickly? Draw a spiral. Because what it'll do is it'll show you where you have an occlusion. Like, oh no, occlusion, what do you call it? That's not what I'm talking about. Occlusion is another thing. It's about shading. It's about the color values within the shadow and the color values outside of the shadow. You remember those? Yeah, right. Shadow values are never brighter than light values, and light values will never be darker than shadow values. So keep that in mind. But there will be variances throughout. However, I digress. So what it'll do is it will show you what parts overlap immediately. It'll show you what parts are obscured. You would have to obscure by with a hand or a foot or something that's getting in the way of the limb partially or even completely. But I think the spiral technique is just so wildly simple, where you just spin around, zoom, 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 and there you go. You've got the structure of what you want, and it really does work. Like, the top scale shape is kind of weird and awkward. I had a hard time doing that, and I didn't think it turned out really nicely. I'll think about it later on. I'll try and work through it. I've also I haven't done the sort of flamey fur scales on the dragon thing, and I made it go away. Such a waste of time doing all that work again. It just looks the same, dude. Looks mostly the same. Come on. Anyhow, it takes time. Even at 6 times the speed, it's 26 minutes of your time and my time that I've spent talking to you, hopefully, if you hang around long enough. Okay, and now, knock it back and rock and roll. Now we can do the detail. And I think the tail, even though it's still quite rough, but the visual language is perfect. It translates to exactly what I wanted to tell you. Like, it's going to be like a rubber metal looking organic, but segmented and mechanical sort of tail. Yeah, it works. And I did some flames on the ridge of the tail, or like plumes. I wouldn't call them flames. I would draw them as plumes, but they kind of look flamish in this illustration. Just to finish it off, and it kind of works. I think I will need to spend a bit of time storyboarding what I'd want to happen with this character and what scene we'd want to have. So perhaps in the next video, I might not be discussing the illustration techniques as much, or at least my process as much. I would probably just maybe talk about the backstory, or maybe not. It's all up in the air. I mean, is it a good thing? I don't know. Is it a bad thing? I don't know. But the tail's kind of good. Okay, so the store will be set up soon, properly, like with my actual thing in it, and I'll put my links so you guys can maybe have some products. And of course, I'm busy setting up a Patreon. What a story. Yeah, there are things that one is good at and things that one absolutely sucks at. And the business administration side of this is just ghastly. But I can draw a nasty tail spike. Check this out. It's coming, hold on. Yeah. So you can't miss that tail spike. It's actually quite an integral part of the design of the character. I think it would be a primary weapon. And like a tool, I mean, like that thing is... It's it's like reach you from 20 feet away, impale you type of goodies. So, yeah. Does it count as a ranged attack or melee? But yeah, well, melee from far away. Yeah. So once again, with a bit of white paint, white that out, and there we go. Check it out. So that's pretty much that. Adding some plumes to the tail of the other plumes to the tail, refining that a little bit, okay, and just a bit of line art just to convince us that there's something there. Yeah. Okay, so we have a female berserker with a biomech tail coming out of her spine. She is pretty badass looking. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my rant and ramble. I hope you have a magnificent day, whatever. Follow, share, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Please. Thank you. Bye.